Bring in Florida Congressman and Army veteran Greg Steube. Congressman, it's great to see you again. We've seen this play before. Is this the part where Democrats in your party who are masquerading as Republicans force guys like you to vote for more inflation-causing, crippling overspending at unsustainable China virus pandemic levels? Will this funding measure turn out like all the rest? GOP voters sold out to Democrats by the GOP majority.
Yeah, that's exactly why I'm a no, and that's exactly why there's quite a few of my colleagues that are a no, because we don't want to continue the Pelosi-Schumer spending spree from the COVID era on the American taxpayer. As Mr. Biggs was saying, we're running a $1.2 to $2.5 trillion deficit a year. This will add to that. We're $36 trillion in debt. When I got elected to Congress 6 years ago, I told my district that Washington had a spending problem and we needed to cut spending. And since the House Republicans have been in the majority, we haven't cut any spending because we continue to pass continuing resolutions that, oh, by the way, Speaker Johnson said last year after he became Speaker, oh, we're just going to pass this one more in December, no more CRs, we're not going to do it that way, we're going to pass our appropriations bills. So I'm not going to support it. I don't know. Well, I can tell you the playbook is now there'll be a clean CR that Democrats will vote for, that part of my conference will vote for to keep the government open.
Yeah, and you know what? I've got to be honest with you. You know, when all the Democrats had all three branches of government, Republicans got nothing. Now, when the Republicans took one branch of government, the Republicans still get nothing. I think they haven't gotten one policy position into any legislation over the last 2 years. It's been very disheartening. I mentioned you were a veteran. What is your message to the country on the 23rd anniversary of the September 11th terrorist attacks?
Yeah, it was a huge impact for me. I enlisted in the United States Army after the towers were hit. I was actually in law school, and I graduated law school early. So I want to thank my brothers and sisters who made that sacrifice to serve our country and were willing to raise their right hand to fight terrorism. We're still fighting terrorism, but now Kamala and Joe Biden are letting terrorists into our country, and there is not a stronger time in our nation's history where we need to stand behind President Trump to ensure that we don't have another terrorist attack like September 11th on this nation's soil. This administration is allowing an opportunity for that to happen. 50,000 Chinese Communist Party people, over 30,000 Russians coming into our country. So I want to thank every service member who raised their right hand to serve our country, regardless of the era and time, and thank all of those people that were willing to stand against terrorism. And I ask those same people to stand with me today against this administration's horrible national security trend, both in Afghanistan, wars in the Middle East, to what's happening right here in the United States with terrorists coming into our country that is 100% created by the decisions that this administration has made.
We've got a whole bunch of analysis coming up on last night's 3-on-1 gang up. It was President Trump versus Kamala Harris and the Mickey Mouse moderators. What were your takeaways after what you saw last night?
Well, yeah, that was disgusting that you have so-called journalists who were clearly trying to help her and clearly going after Trump. It was very frustrating. It was very aggravating. It wasn't I mean, in my opinion, Trump beat 3-1. In that he laid out the policy differences, and Kamala continued to lie on every single one. Even when ABC asked Kamala, yeah, immigration, and oh, you did this executive order and it's kind of slowed the tide, which it hasn't, by the way. What's your response to that? She attacks Trump, and it's Trump's fault for the last 3 years that 12 million illegals have come into our country after they took 60 executive actions to create the crisis in the open border that we have and the southern border. And so it's just fascinating that they're going to try to blame Trump for their intentional violations of federal law at our border every single day that endanger Americans every single day. And I think American people saw through it. People were texting me that that was a 3 versus 1. So I'm curious to see if Kamala, who now apparently wants another debate, will agree to that in Fox in October. So we'll see.
Yeah, the polling is showing that the American people didn't buy it. Congressman Greg Steube, thank you for the service to the country and appreciate your time here as always.